Yo, it's X, and this is What's Out Production. We got my boy Chrizzo, where you at?
I'm right here. Yo, what's up? What's up, everybody?
And we have a young guy with us today that is going to be, our co-host, Cory. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
And today we got a great episode of our podcast, and it's a sit down with Fairplay from StreetBeef, man. If you haven't heard of Fairplay, this man is he's like honor, like integrity, and he's got like a badass like roundhouse kick. Like, this man is the truth. He's pretty cool. He's a badass dude. How you doing, Fairplay?
Hey, we're doing good, man. Another day. That's it. Thankful to be alive. That's all I can say.
I feel that. So when did you start fighting, if you don't mind me asking?
November for Street Beefs, November makes 1 year. But I've been fighting since, overall, I've been fighting since 2015. That's when I started karate. And then I picked up martial arts ever since. Started karate, and then about 2 years after that, I started boxing. And I didn't want to stay like limited to martial arts. I kept on learning different things like Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and it just picked up into my martial arts today, into my style.
That is quick, man. Oh my goodness. How are you able to learn so fast in such a, a unique sport?
Part of it's being young. I mean, I'm 25 years old. When you're 19 learning something new, you absorb it like a sponge, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys, doesn't have to be martial arts. You guys have your own passions and you pick up to them fast if you like it. You like something, you'll pick up to it like nothing,
Right, yeah. So what was your what was your upbringing like? You know what I'm saying? Like what made you get into martial arts in the first place,
Very simple, actually. It's kind of funny because I was a kid. I played a lot of Street Fighter, and I played the heck out of Street Fighter 2 as a kid on the Sega. I was like, I want to learn martial arts. And then I never really figured out how to. My parents never got me into it. So I got older, and it was so stupid. It was like, I got a job now. I mean, wonder what I could do. I could probably pay for a martial arts class. I don't know why I never did it. So I tried it out. And once I got out of military training, I was like, you know what? Let me sign up for a couple classes. Do a couple karate classes. So I originally just wanted to do a couple karate tournaments and then call it, And then once MMA started exploding, I was like, this is the thing to do. So I jumped into it. I started committing to it for like a couple more years, and I stuck with me ever since.
I see a lot of street fighting inspiration from your like wardrobe that you even have on, when you go into the fights, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean that actually just stuck. People always say with boxing, that's actually if I got that idea from. I actually didn't get the Dudley idea from for boxing that way. I actually, back in the 1800s, when boxing started to become like popular, guys would fight in like formal wear, like formal attire. So I was like,
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like Sherlock Holmes,
Yeah, that's what Europe and early America did that. So I was like, that's might as well let's start tradition. Let's pick that up. Let's see who catches on to that. But then you were like, this guy's Dudley from Street Fighter. Third assault, third strike. Like, that works too. I was like, yeah, I mean, shit, why not? I'll go with it.
Hell yeah. So how many of the fights that you do are they really like street beefs, like someone calling you out, like somebody really having an issue with you?
It's really funny because like ever since I took the Fairplay persona, people were like, there's like a fence, like 80% of fence when I first fought was like, yo, this guy sucks. He's going to get washed his next fight. And 20% was like, this guy knows what the heck he's doing. I can't wait to watch him again. So yeah, you would get occasionally someone message you like, I'll knock you out, right? I was like, all right, no problem. Do what you got to do, man. And then one guys show up. Like for every once in a while, a guy actually shows up. Like 751 was my most respectful call out. He said he would love to fight me. I was like, all right, sweet. come on this date. We'll see what happens. And then freaking goes to show. He actually shows up and he does boxing. He chose boxing. Like we could have done MMA, but he thought he wanted to do hands. So like, all right, let's do it. And then my most recent beef fight was with Adam, and he was a little disrespectful with it. So that's why I had to go all out. You know,
you had to get him to beat down. That's what I saw there.
Show him the business.
Yeah, that helped you get in the fight.
Yeah,
man.
He definitely learned that. I mean, he seemed like a nice guy after. He texted me after, say thank you for the opportunity, and it definitely changed the way he thinks about things. And like, dude, at the end of the day, I mean, like, I'm no pro, but like, you know those videos where you're like, you see like pros versus average Joes.
Exactly.
And, like, average Joe thinks they can beat the pro because they see him on TV. Like that's the exact situation.
Hey, he hit that gate so hard, man. I was looking like, oh my god, he's going through the gate. Oh my goodness, man. That was crazy. So do you think that you think some of these people just do this for clout?
Oh, without a doubt. You know, like, you know how many people start their channels or anything like, hey, I actually was crazy enough to get suplexed by Brock Lesnar or judo thrown by Ronda Rousey. I was that guy. That was me. You know, people like that. You know how much clout that would get? Because everyone's like, nah, that wasn't you. It was like, no, it was. Let me show you the video. And then they show it. It goes to show. Yep, that was him.
That's true, man.
They would love to watch that. They'll either call you either way, either it's negative or positive. They will watch it. You'll get popular off it.
You're right.
Like approximately 100,000 people watched Adam fight me. You know, even though if it was negative backlash, that's still 100,000 people. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
Yeah. So what made you come up with the name Fairplay?
There's two reasons. I was a huge DC Comics fan.
Okay. All right.
There's this superhero named Mr. Terrific. And his logo is fair play, you know? Fight fair. That's basically what fair play is. I mean, you fight fair, show respect, do things by the books, you know? Have common courtesy no matter what. So I was like, all right, I like that. I actually like that name. That's a good name. And that's how I believe in fighting, you know? Fighting's a sport. Fighting's a gentleman's sport. I mean, we've been doing it since the early age of man, especially with like boxing being like one of the oldest sports we've done in America, you know? Like you shake hands for that type of fight, you know? You have respect after you fight each other. There's no animosity. You don't attack people with a certain mentality because y'all both agree to doing. It's an agreement towards two people to settle a score or just entertain a crowd.
Facts.
Now let me ask you this. Have you ever gotten into a real street fight? So let's say you out at a club, a bar, or anything, and somebody, or it could be school or anything like that. Somebody approached you like, "Hey, you think you can fight? Blah, 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 blah. Let me show you something." Like, you know, just like outside the ring per se. Like, have you ever any had like real confrontations?
I mean, I've never had like a street fight, like a bar fight, other than me. I used to do bouncer security. So yeah, I always had a teammate to help me out, but a one-on-one confrontation I never really had outside the ring. I mean, this is one time I was bouncing at a bar restaurant, and these guys were intoxicated. They ended up being in a 2-on-2, and then we jumped in and intervened. They thought they could take us, but we're security. We don't play fair. We'll do 3-on-1. You know. People don't realize, like, when a street fight, there's no respect or rules. So like the guy went to get in my face, he went to swing on me, he didn't see my partner. My partner grabbed his hand, and I double legged and we scooped him up and slammed him onto this concrete.
Anti-fair play right there. Anti-fair play.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's the name of the game, man. Sometimes you gotta fight a certain type of way just to keep yourself safe, keep someone else safe, because you know street fights are dangerous. You're at the mercy of the winner. We're gonna keep up, you know. I've grew up in some pretty bad parts of the state. Bridgeton was a bad place for a while in my childhood. You see guys just get curb stomped and stomped out all the time. I saw one guy point blank get shot and just die right on the scene right before the cops get there. And, like I said, the winners of the street fight, they determine whether sometimes you live or lose. Because at the end of the day, the law is the standard. Nothing says that you have to follow the law. It's expected, but like guys like the guy that has nothing to lose, like he's gonna take a life. He doesn't care.
That's facts. That's facts. And that's why I respect when men or even men or women want to handle their issues that way and like real fight. Like, like agree to like, hey, no more animosity after this fight. Let's fight this out. We got a disagreement. We'll take it with the hands. Nothing else. I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've seen a lot of street fights growing up. I've never actually been in one personally because I've been always on the authority side. So like I'm held liable if I did anything bad or anything extensive to this person. But like I've seen people get knocked out, and people like while they're knocked out on the concrete, they'll like pick them up, slide them to the grass, and let them like take a nap until they wake up.
Seriously,
do that.
yeah.
Don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, it's the winner always tells the tale. That's the way it works.
Right. Yeah. So do you have any like I would say ritual or a routine before you get into a fight? Like, do you say a prayer? Do you meditate? Do you drink some water, like an hour before? Like, is there any prep time do you do before you actually get into the ring?
It's really crazy to think that, but no, I'll tell you the truth. Since
All right.
I started Street Beef. This goes back to the original reason why I started Street Beef, because I was an amateur fighter for a good portion of time, and I fought amateur, and I kept on having lineups for my fights, but they always people would get injured or people would back out or duck, and my instructor was trying to line me up another fight. Then COVID hit. And then once COVID hit, I've been training with these guys for like 5-6 years now, and they had to shut down. They got bankrupt. So my school closed down. That's why I wear the gis. I wear the gis to represent my school that's no longer open. So everything I learned was from them. And I was like, listen, this is all I know. Let's see if it actually works in a street fight. Like, what's the closest thing I can get to a street fight in without getting in trouble? Street beefs. And I guess my everything I've been learning has been working because I've been holding my own against most of the guys out there.
So I've seen you fight all the different types of fight styles that are available on Street Beefs. Are they all in different locations? And if they are in different locations, where's your favorite place you've been so far? What's your favorite Street Beef moment?
I have to say the favorite place I've been, it's between my last fight and the West Coast. It's just the area is very vast and beautiful. I mean, California, 1 second you're in mountains, the next second you're in the desert, the next second you're in the forest. I'm like, dude, you got all types of environments here, You got all types of climate there. You turn one way, you see one thing. The views are beautiful, absolutely amazing. Like when I fought for the West, those guys were really professional. They took care of us. There's always competition, and a lot of tough guys are on the West Coast.
Nice.
So do you have like a workout routine, or do you have like a diet? Because like when I see you, you're pretty jacked, you know what I mean? So you probably worked out, I'm sure. So do you have like a personal coach that kind of gives you like workout regimen and like what to eat, or do you just just like whatever?
It's crazy that you say that because now I don't, since I've never really had a coach. Like I used to have a training camp, but my school closed down. So everything that I'm doing now is just off of knowledge of what people taught me before when I was a ranked martial artist,
Yeah.
So, yep. all my workout regimens are just off the hip, everything off my mind. I'll get up in the morning and I'll run like a mile. Then like once a month, I'll run 10 miles. I'd go to the gym, study different types of strikes, different types of grappling movements. Like I'll go to the gym, throw 100 of each punch. So I throw 100 jabs. Then after that, 100 crosses, 100 hooks, 100 uppercuts, just so I keep my mind like mentally muscle memory of what that punch is, because you can forget a punch over time. Like I took a whole month off once, just not working out, which is recent, and I forgot to throw a proper jab. So that's why you gotta stay consistent with it, because you can forget the simplest basics in such a short period of time. Your timing gets slower. If you don't do cardio, you'll lose your cardio in a second. Like this is all just off of losing my school. Ever since I lost my school, I've just been firing off the hip. Like I don't have a guy always coaching me, telling me what I have to do or where my flaws are. Like we got Animals of War, our fight team, but Mammoth, he lives in the same state. Unknown lives in Florida. Ricardo lives in New York, and Detail lives down south too. So we're all scattered. The only person I really train with, Ryu Senin and Mammoth, because we're at least local,
Right.
And we piggyback each other and coach each other.
I got a question about this. So a lot of times you do fight people who are in different weight classes. Does that affect you in any way? Does that change up your style in any way? Like I've seen you fight some guys like 230, and I've seen you fight guys 160. Like that's a vast, difference.
I treat every person I fight with caution. You have no choice. I mean,
smart.
Especially with striking, there's always puncher's chance. I mean, I don't got the best chin in the world. I got a chin, but doesn't mean it can't be tested. You know what I'm saying? Like when I fought Beast, man, my chin came in clutch, man, because I got hit with some bombs. And I still kept on going. I gave myself, like, even though it was a loss, it was a personal win for me, because like I got to tangle with one of the best in the yard. Like no one's contesting that guy. That guy's gonna hold the belt forever, because first of all, I was crazy enough to challenge him. It wasn't just bravery. You have to be slightly crazy to want to fight a guy like that, And he's top. That dude's definitely top.
What was running through your head after that match?
The headache I had. So many times my teeth were throbbing. I was so glad I didn't lose it, because he knocked out my mouthpiece a couple times. It was like, oh boy. Dental plan came in for the win that day,
So what's your record?
11-2 in boxing. I really don't like count beef matches. Everyone says I'm 8-0, but I feel I'm 7-0. I don't count beef matches as a win. And unless it's like a guy that actually wants a recorded match. And BJJ, I really feel that I'm 2-2. Like when I roll with Walk Lobster, I feel like he gave me a run for my money. I didn't get submitted though, but I feel like he was more of the aggressor.
That's just what I was gonna ask about your ground game. How do you feel about your ground game?
It definitely can be improved. I mean, I only took jiu-jitsu because I'm originally a striker.
Right.
So I only took jiu-jitsu really just as self-defense, because I don't care what anyone says. You need some sort of grappling these days just to stand a chance against a guy. Like you can be the best boxer in the world, but if you don't get that lucky shot, or the guy has a good chin, you don't knock him out with that shot, and he grabs your legs, what you got? You know what? Same as kickboxers, like a guy or a Muay Thai guy. Like you need your legs to be able to dish out your strikes.
You got to do anything, right?
Can't do that if you're on your back. Because 9 times out of 10, fights finish on the ground. Maybe you'll get lucky and hit him with that 1-2 and he'll be out for the count, but 9 times out of 10, you got to finish the guy on the ground.
Right.
Like you see these fights all lead to the ground. They always lead to the ground.
So you've been a bouncer. You've been you were in the military?
Yeah, still in the military. I've been in for 8 years now.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for
what branch of the military?
Army National Guard.
Okay.
Been doing that one my entire military career. Like a lot of guys do active Army and then they transition, but I've been in the Guard ever since.
Yeah, that's what my buddy did. One of my teammates, he did the exact same thing. He's actually in Florida right now, but yeah, he does the exact same thing. So thank you, man. Thank you. So how has that shaped you personally?
I tell you, if I didn't go through, honestly, to tell you the truth, if I could go back in time to mine I did, I would never join the military.
Why is that?
They run you through the dirt. I tell you that they run your face through the mud, but it makes you stronger. It builds you up and it gives you your personality, gives you more discipline. That's how you get discipline. You get broken so you can tolerate stress more. Like if I didn't join the military, I definitely wouldn't be able to be the person I am today. I tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Respect. Heck yeah.
It just makes me more thankful. Yeah.
Oh, I was about to ask some more about like street beefs though. So where do you see yourself later on in the future, like in street beefs?
With street beefs, I was actually planning to go pro by the end of the year, but I really don't know. I'm really still on the fence. There's a gray line on what I want to do, but I'm gonna just get my license and just see where things lead from there. That's really what it boils down to. Street beefs, though, I'll be fighting with them for a while, probably till December, and then once I get my license, they still want to let me fight because technically, even though I have a pro license, technically I'm still not a pro because I haven't had a pro fight. I haven't got signed by a producer or a commission yet, you know. So I might still do a couple things. I might host a couple fights instead, you know. I might host instead of actual fighting myself. Because I'd say I did that entire year. Like, I had a good street beefs career. I'm thankful for that.
Heck yeah, man.
What was your hardest match like? You know?
My hardest match was it was exhausting. I mean, like my hardest match was against Beast. And people say like, yeah, it was just boxing, but like Beast, man, I just got his hands. And then I found out he does kickboxing and he's a grappler too. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of glad I only took his hands because I saw him do some kick. Oh my God. Dude,
so what were you saying? Sorry, my bad.
He's a monster.
What about the other athletes from Street Beef? Who do you respect out there?
Oh, I have a lot of respect for Smile before he moved on to pursue his sanctioned career. I have a lot of respect for him. Baby Hulk, that guy's another dangerous dude.
Baby Hulk is crazy.
Yeah,
You sound crazy.
Phenomenal, crazy. I never want to grapple him. Like I don't care why that full on fight. I still won't want to fight him. You know, once the dude gets you on the ground, that's it. He keeps you there. You're not getting back up. He keeps you there. You know.
Yeah.
He might have been the first off from street fights. Was Baby Hulk.
Wait, say it again.
I said he might have been the first fighter I saw when I watched Street Beef.
Yeah, he's the first. I say he's the first fighter between Baby Hulk. I like Beach and Turk. Out of them three, I say they're like the more modern fighters that like you know help the street beefs like you know transition into a more MMA standard. You know, like a more fight league standard.
Right.
Back then, it was just like you know backyard fights. I could say Iraqi Assassin. He was like good transition into old school and new school too.
Dude, you could see his name everywhere on those boards. It's like Iraqi Assassin, Iraqi Assassin, Iraqi Assassin. And I've seen some of his fights. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's dangerous, man. And he's the champ for a reason, man. He got skill. He got some serious skill.
So you think you'll ever go back for a title match or no?
I don't know. Everywhere there's politics with everything. I mean, I wanted a title shot. I've been trying to get one. and I'm not like trying to get it. I'm like not like begging to get it, but if it was there, I would jump on it. You know, like I would like to fight for the 200 title because Tyree's actually one of our other teammates for Animals of War, and he wanted to fight for the 200 to 215 pound, and Country Hoodlum, he's doing Rough and Rowdy, so it went vacant. And then Tyree he took the belt, but then after his fight with RSV, he took like a little hiatus to go train and figure out his life and all that, which is understandable. So I was like, while it's vacant, I guess I'll try to get it. I mean, I'll try to see what I can do. But also my fight with Showtime too. Like I lost by split decision,
right?
Which was a tough fight. Showtime was really tough, and if I won that, I would have had the belt too. So I don't know. And I really don't like rematches. If I fought the guy again, I mean, it just wouldn't feel the same,
I feel that.
Yeah.
I think it's so crazy how you started on a Street Beefs like as it was like climbing up on the algorithm. Like last fall was around a time when like Street Beefs, like everybody saw it on their recommended page on YouTube. And like for you to just come on there is like, it's the best time to get you like the most spotlight, most opportunity. So it's just kind of, I mean, I know your school shut down, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise if you agree. I don't know if you agree or not.
Oh no, I agree entirely. I mean, who doesn't want that Jake Paul fight, man? But but you fight the guy once, at minimum you're getting $700K. I want win or lose. I want that.
Right. Sign me up. I'm over there tomorrow. $700K. Shit.
Exactly. Yeah, man, I'll even take Tyson, man. 2.2 million and a free. Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. This is the question I ask all my friends. For $1 million, would you take 2 hits from Mike Tyson to the head?
Nah, that's the 1 million is just in medical bills. I need 2.
That's what I was thinking.
Thanks.
I was thinking like so my coach, he said one time, he was like, yeah, you wouldn't feel the second punch. And I was like, I guess you're right, but like, you'd probably be brain dead on
you probably be dead like at that point.
Dude, the guy breaks ribs, ruptures livers, kidneys, and he's still doing it at 50 years old, 50 plus years old.
Yeah, man, he's a beast.
Power.
So, question: what fighters have you been inspired by? Like Mike Tyson, you like Bruce Lee? Like what type of fighters you like?
Oh, the list is infinite, man. Boxing, I love all the old school boxers. I can talk about boxing for days.
Well, tell me a few. Tell me a few and why you like them.
I like Sugar Ray Robinson. I feel he's actually the GOAT of boxing, but he gets overshadowed sometimes because they don't have a lot of his recorded fights. Like the guy has 200 plus fights in his career. I think out of all those fights, 4/5 of those fights are wins. So that's a lot.
That's a really good winning record. Yeah, that really is.
And he was like the very end of old school boxing. Ali is another favorite of mine, but Ali gave the transition from like modern age from old school to modern age because back then everyone fought like George Foreman. They had tree rooted legs. They just stood there and they banged it out until one guy fell down.
Right.
And Robinson, they're the only ones that really used footwork, other than Willie Pep, but like that's into another story. But like Ali, compared to all heavyweights, it's the only one that really used footwork. That's why he was dismantling guys left and right, because everyone just like, you gotta stay rooted, you gotta stay square, keep your hands up.
Rock'em sock'em.
Exactly. That's exactly how it was. So then when they saw Ali doing his dance, it's like, how the heck can anyone hit this kid? He's light and he's just moving around. He's off balance. Like, no, he's not off balance. He knows how to cut angles. He knows his range for his jabs. He knows how to evade punches. Because people always like, oh, you take a punch and then you hit a punch, then you hit the guy back. No, that's not how you do it. Like those are old. So yeah, and Tyson too. I love Tyson, Floyd Patterson, Joe Frazier. The list goes on. George Foreman. I could talk about it all day with boxing. But like when it comes to traditional martial arts, favorite guys is Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan. I used to like Michael J. White. Still like him. Guy's a phenomenal martial artist too. It's just the list goes on with that. Wrestlers, favorite wrestler. I can't even get into you about wrestling. No, those guys are freaking awesome.
Come on, we got wrestlers. That's one of my strong suits. You gotta tell me.
Do you mean WWE wrestling, or what you mean by wrestling?
Legit wrestlers and WWE wrestlers. Because in the beginning, a lot of people forget. Like in the beginning, it was actual wrestling. Like these guys had actual backgrounds. The actual moves were actually wrestling techniques. People forget that WWF, early WWF would have actual wrestling matches. That's the way it was.
It was legit, and then now it's in the entertainment. That's why they turned it after the E. But yeah,
exactly. Like I was a kid. There's this old school luchador, Japanese masked fighter named Tiger Mask.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah,
like King from Tekken was inspired by Tiger Mask.
Yeah,
I like that guy. Hulk Hogan's also. What?
I was about to say, would you ever fight in have you ever heard like the Guru like Japanese professional wrestling league? Would you ever wrestle there? I heard that's always like super extreme, no matter what, if it's fake or not. You know what I'm saying? I've heard it's always been like the most extreme like place.
Listen, when people don't give WWE type of committees, they don't give them enough credit. Like you still need to have some sort of skill to do those scripts. Like you're talking about guys doing backflips off of like 10-foot poles or like 6-foot poles and fall onto someone without hurting them, or like being able to, flip off of someone. That's hard to do. And if you have like backgrounds, doing those moves are pretty freaking hard. Like there's this one move that I might try to pull it in the yard one of these days. It's called the rolling cradle. And that move looks freaking awesome. You're like moving like a tumbleweed, and you like control the speed and the momentum of the movement. Like when you actually pull it off, this is the actual wrestling move. When you actually pull it off, it looks freaking awesome,
Yeah.
So that's what, like, I'm a geek when it comes to those things. Like
people will really think that's Street Fighter right there. If you did something like that, that would be amazing.
Right.
I might try to pull it off my next MMA match. I might try to pull it off, but like I said, at the same time, I fight some skilled guys too. So you can't just, people always think like, oh, you're just fighting some average Joe. No, there's some guys that have Golden Glove backgrounds. There's guys that have like 5-6 amateur MMA bouts. And people don't understand, like, even though you don't have a lot of amateur MMA fights, the training you have to go through just to get one fight is insane. Like I had 3 sanctioned MMA fights, and I had to train like a whole year just for one fight. I fought like once a year. And I'm like, dude, if I'm going to train this hard just to fight one guy, I know for a fact that guy is training hard just to fight me too, because you're putting the school's name on the line. They want to make sure you're in top skill to be able to fight. So you're always fighting someone skilled. That's why it's so hard to get a amateur, because schools put their name on the line. It's like, hey, we don't want to lose, so you're training your ass off. The only way you're going to get an amateur fight is if you come in every day, you train your ass off, and you got to win. I'm like, dude, it's hard. It's really hard. While Street Beefs, I can just walk in, get a couple good ones in without having to go through all the BS that New Jersey Athletic Commission makes you go through.
Right.
Right.
I agree. What advice would you give to young athletes who want to become, masters of their craft in their sport? I mean, you've only been since 2015, that's 6 years, but you're mastering it right now. You're still in the mastering process. Like, you're still working towards it. But what advice would you give to someone who's starting out?
Advice I would personally give is, once you start training, don't stop. And if you really want to, you got to make a sacrifice. Like, I get people have kids, people have families. Like I'm always in that gray line between everyone, because I have a heart, but you always stay hungry and stay consistent with your training. If you really want to go far with it, sometimes you got to put some things on the back burner to get what you want. Like, I know guys that they have to like leave their families for a good portion of of their time. They like spend like maybe 2 or 3 days a week with their family, but the rest is just dedicated training. Because listen, you can love family all day, but sadly, you have to make a decision between wanting to aspire into your martial arts career, or you have to hang up the gloves and just, be a family man. One of the two. Same for women too. Same thing. You have to take a sacrifice overall.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. I feel like like, when you are growing up and you are like coming up, you have your passion of what you're trying to do, and then you have other responsibilities, like family, pets, or whatever, and then you have to travel here and there, and you're right, you do have to make like a certain sacrifice, you know what I mean? But I feel like once you do get older, maybe like in your 40s or 50s or whatever time, it is that you like, the average time that you retire in, that's when you can really, give your all into your family or whatever responsibilities that you have. But I feel like it's important for, like, if you have a family that understands you, they will understand the journey that you have going for yourself, because that's your passion. That's what you're trying to strive for. You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. And like I said, I'm thankful because I had some good friends that supported me. My wife supports me a lot with it all, but at the same time, when you got work, you got to support a family. That I have to make that sacrifice. I mean, I love fighting. I love fighting a lot, but I can't commit 100% to it because, I care too much about my family. I'm not saying that martial artists don't care about their families, but when you make it that big, you can make that sacrifice. I mean, I'll sacrifice a 6-week training camp just to fight in the UFC because that's money. That's more money than I make a year working my regular career, and I can use that money to take care of my family. So yeah,
exactly.
I do that, but I'm not at that level. I'm an amateur. So amateurs, we don't make money. We fight for free. So you have to make that equal balance to be able to support your family and do what you love still.
Well, I'll say one thing, man. You are definitely on the right track, and you have a very bright future ahead of you, bro. Like I see it. Like when I watch the videos, you don't look like no amateur to me, at least.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Well, it's like I said, it's been 5 years of karate, 6. Well, no, actually, 6 going on 7 years of karate, and 5 years of boxing. And like I said, I lost so much time because of the pandemic. But at the same time, I memorized what I had. Like, since I haven't fought in so long, it gave me time for my mind to settle in on what technique is and break down everything that happens. I still have my athleticism because I'm still young. Once I hit 30, it starts going down. But right now, I say since it was good I took that mental break or that physical break, because it helps me mentally to just break down techniques and learn things. Because if I didn't have I'm only a green belt in karate, so I'm at that level to where I'm advanced. I'm not expert yet, but I'm advanced, so I can concept of certain moves and certain aspects to the martial arts or any type of discipline. So having that mental break, I was able to sit down and study things, and now I'm throwing kicks. I'm not saying I'm throwing kicks at a black belt level, but I'm able to learn expert style striking. I'm able to figure out how expert style grappling works. And when you train all the time too, or if I have a chance to go to my gyms, well, my the places I train now, I can train it with sparring. Sparring is very important because that's like the test fight before you actually go into the real thing, And that's where I got most of the moves I use in StreetBeef. Is from just sparring guys better than me, getting the crap kicked out of me, and understand why I got the crap kicked out of me. Because learning technique is great and all, but if you can't use it in an actual practical environment, you might as well not even begin to even try it.
Iron sharpens iron, honestly. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, question: how was that time period from when your school shut down to when you started Street Beefs? Like, how long of a period was that? How'd you feel? Were you still training? Were you just sparring out with other people? Like, how was that?
That transition was tough. I mean, my instructors closed down. He had a gi sale, and they're like, you know what? Get me 2 of those fresh new gis because it has the logo, the Karate Dojo logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, even though the school shut down, the school's never dead. The school's still not dead. I'll rep that school strong because that's where I learned my martial arts. That was the foundation of all my disciplines, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I always shout them out. I always wear the gi to honor them for every MMA fighter I'm in. And a lot of schools see it as disrespectful, but like, how is it disrespectful if I don't have a school?
Right.
You know? So
true underdog. So, hey, even if you have your first UFC fight, I'm expecting to see that gi, you know?
Oh yeah, I have to walk out in the gi. I'll take it off when I get there, but I have to walk out in the gi.
Yes, sir.
I like
Yes,
that.
sir.
I like that.
Gotta pull a GSP.
So what type of music do you like?
I listen to some very unique music, I tell you. I used to listen to a lot of jazz, but now I listen to a lot of chill step, lo-fi. Lo-fi is nice.
I do too, yeah.
I
Shout out
listen
to one
a
of our
lot
guys, Ryan
lo-fi.
Celsius. He helps us out a lot.
So you understand what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just working out is always good to, like, you know, when you listen to rock and stuff, it's good because it gets you amped, but sometimes you just want to chill, you know? You want to savor and just relax. Even though you're exerting, you want to have that, you don't want to have like an amped up adrenaline rush moment all the time, you know? You just want to chill, maybe hit the bag, do a little treadmill. I'm not listening to like heavy metal doing a treadmill. I mean, you can only go so fast in treadmill.
Yeah, when I was training, we'd be in we'd really be, it'd still be a really like decent, but I was a rower. But I call it smooth jazz because it was like, I'm just training, but it's like light training. I'm like, oh yeah, this is smooth jazz. I was like, you know, it's not electro, it's not rap, it's not rock, it's not you know, it's just, you know, come on, you know,
get a lot of chill music lets me like get in that focus zone when I'm working out. Like it just locks me in, and I'm just going through the motions of stuff I've already done, you know, months and months before. It just keeps me locked in that, and like I find all type of music helping me in many different ways and work.
Exactly. I agree with you, man.
Yeah, man. Music, like I always say, there's always different music for different types of things and different like scenarios. So whenever like when I was in school and I would be studying or doing homework, I would be listening to like lo-fi or like piano music or really soft, you know, easy on the mind, you know, music. When I'm playing basketball or at the gym, I would want to feel motivated. So I would listen to like, you know, rap music and a little bit of rock to, like you said, to get me amped up, like, all right, I'm gonna do this, you know. So like this, you know, there's different music for different moods and like, you know, scenarios. And that's really what music really is. It's just a form of human expression, right? And just like different moods, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Exactly. No, you're right. And I like it because, you know, when you're training and your heart rate's low, now when you're actually going to do the real thing, doesn't have to be fighting, it could be competing in anything. Your heart rate's low and you're exerting yourself. So now when you're going 100%, it's actually a little less taxing for your body because your heart rate's low, you know? So when your heart rate heightens up, your performance goes a lot better. You know, you don't get adrenaline rush, you don't get pins and needles, you don't get nervous because you're more chill from that intensity.
And I love when you practice something over and over, like I think you mentioned some of your jabs, your punches and stuff like that. And then you know when you're clicking, you know when it's going right. And then you know when you're actually applying that, like, you know, sparring or in a real fight, you're like, oh yeah, like that clicked, it finally clicked. Like you might have had issues with that, in the long run, but now it's like, you're focused on that for so long, and then all of a sudden, you were able to apply that. It's just even if you lose the race, or even if you lose the fight, excuse me, I was gonna say race. Even if you lose the fight, you still feel like, wow, like I got that right. I got that portion right now. I got to work on this. Now I got to work on this. So, yeah.
But like you said, it's like, it doesn't even have to be a fight. It could be a race too. Like, I used to do track in high school, and I tell you one thing, I would lose most of my races, but
Same.
always my time always improved because that training comes in clutch. Even though there's always someone better. That's where I got the mentality with fighting a little easier, because you always know for a fact there's always someone better than you. So that's why you gotta stay humble. You can't be walking around like, I'll never lose I'm the best. I'm the pound for pound. And then you're that guy face down on the floor, knocked out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's always those guys that feel like they can't be touched. But you're human, man. It happens. We're meant to be like that. We're organisms that are made to fail and to get stronger after that. It's just people think like once they lose, they have to hang on the gloves. No. Learn from your
your losses are your learning lessons, and man, that's why I respect watching you fight, man, because I mean, I get that some have to play some type of character, but sometimes they seem very macho. Some of them, no disrespect to them, but like, you always keep it fair. I mean, it fits your name, fair play. I'm like, it just fits. I don't know. It clicks. I don't know.
Well, that's what it's about, man. It's all about, you go in there, you show respect, and you have fun. Because I don't go into a fight seeing the guy as my enemy. He's like, hey, he's trying to compete just like me. We're here to just, have a friendly competition. Hopefully no one gets hurt too seriously, because I don't want to put anyone in the hospital. I don't want to be in the hospital myself. So that's why you just go in, gentleman's sport all day. Just got to have that mindset. Then when you go pro, try to put the guy in the hospital because money's on the line. But other than that, we're not getting paid for this. We're just here to have fun, man. That's it.
Hey, you're going to have the license to kill when you get that license in December, man. Oh, my goodness. If you go somewhere, you're going to be deadly, man. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be excited.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I get it, I'm just going to stay stagnant, train like crazy, because even though I got the license, I'm going to be representing a gym. No matter what, you got to represent a gym. So I'm probably going to train consistently once I get it, and see where that takes me from there. Because like, my gym's gonna be like, oh, what the heck is wrong with you? Why aren't you fighting amateur first? Now you got this pro license. Now you can't fight anywhere. It's like, okay, so train me until you feel I'm ready. I'm willing to sacrifice and make the time. So train me until you think I'm ready, and then I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna give it on my own. That's it.
Respect.
But in the meantime, I'll be fighting for street beefs. So,
heck yeah, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, even with my last bout, just you go out there with a certain mindset. Like, even though Adam came at me and said the most reckless stuff anyone's ever said to me, he learned himself. I'm pretty sure he learned from that fight too. And at the end of the day, I didn't carry that after. Like, I was in the cage with rage, but after that fight, I was like, you know what? He's still human. I get emotions get in the way. It gets the best of it. Emotion gets the best of anyone. Like, it's one mentality. One guy told me is like, since it's another human, you guys will beat the crap out of each other for the simplest thing. But I tell you one thing, if it was a spider or anything, you would use a weapon. Everyone like that. If you would fight a human just because he cut you in line, y'all would fight each other probably to the death. But I tell you, if it was a spider or a bat or something, you're bringing a weapon. It's just the way it works. Like it doesn't have to be malicious to that point, but that's just the way we are. Most people think primitive. It's just the way we are.
Any times that temperament gets a little too close?
Oh yeah, for me?
Yeah.
I tell you, there's only probably like 2 fights where it has. But say the Adam fight, I after the first round, I kind of toned down a little. I started playing around at the end of the day because in the second round, one guy is like he was a huge fan. He was saying, "Oh, you got to do the 360 kicks. I'm here live. You got to do it. You got to do it." Like
I saw that.
360. I'm just trying to pummel this guy till he's done. Like, no, you got to do the 360 kick. Do it for the fam. Do it for the fans. Like, all right. So then I throw the 360 kick and it lands, and everyone lost their shit.
Yeah.
Everyone lost their fucking shit. Because I really don't throw the kick too much. Because like I like throwing spinning kicks and all of that, but those things hurt. I've been on the receiving end of those things. They hurt.
Sometimes I've just seen you just like strike down dudes, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I know some of them have like, especially if they have like no record at all. I'm like, what are you? I know they're just trying, going out there to give it a fight, but I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, how do you feel about the officiating and all that?
Oh, like guys with like no records and fighting?
Yeah. And like usually when I see the judges, they know when to call it. But what do you think about that? Because some of them I feel like they have like minimal experience. Some of them.
It's really weird because like I said, with street beefs, you're like playing Russian roulette. Like I'll get a guy that is self-taught his entire life, self-taught his entire martial arts background, and then I'll get a guy that freaking is a runner-up or semi-pro or a champion, an amateur. It just happens. Like Prince Rivera, he's a glorified amateur fighter. Like he used to fight an amateur. He fought a couple tough guys, and he was 0-0. But I fought him in MMA, and I went toe to toe with him. Or like a guy like well, I haven't really fought. I fought one guy 0-0, 751. When I fought him, I mean, like he's still training, but like his hands are like you're built from a different martial arts. So when you fight in certain disciplines like Muay Thai or Kung Fu, like when you're limited to just your hands and you have no feet, you realize how much of a disadvantage you're in because you never really bothered to study fundamentals or mastery in that one art. So when I was fighting with just hands, he was limited. He was very limited. Even though he probably had more knowledge in Kung Fu than I did, he was only limited to his hands. And then you have a guy that just boxed for 5 years and did a little bit of everything. So it was fighting as if he was like only did boxing for a month. So yeah, when I tried to tone it down on him, but then I didn't realize he hit me with this nasty right hand, and it just it flicked the switch,
Yeah.
So then when he hit me with that right hand, then I went hard and threw a hard right hand back to him. But when it's a knockout punch, when you don't feel it that much in your gloves, like the hardest punches are the ones you really don't feel. It's weird how that works.
Yeah.
Like, when you hit someone and then when you don't hit someone, you're like, no way he fell to that. But no, he did. And I tried to help him up. Then I forgot it was a 10 count, so I had to leave. Wolverine pushed me. I was like, no, you have to wait till the count's over. And he was out for the count, man. We had to sit him up on the pool. I was glad he was all right.
I like the way that you mentioned this. You mentioned it as a roulette. That's exactly how I look at street beefs, because you fight in different categories, like different styles of fighting, different weight class, and then that experience is so different. Like everyone's experience is different. That probably makes you a better fighter overall. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you one thing though. That's why I'm not biased with my fights. Like I believe in there's an equal playing field with everything, but like I'm not gonna be that guy. I was like, oh no, I only fight at 200, or I'm not gonna fight a guy heavier than me. No, I mean, because I'll give you one example. When I fought High Definition, I had the more experience, but he had more muscle and weight. So it was the playing field was practically even. Like he dominated me 2 rounds, and then the 3rd round I got him. That was the difference. Like he had the strength advantage. He had the weight advantage, but I had the skill advantage. That's where the playing field's even out. You know? Because like it's like a featherweight fighting a bodybuilder. Featherweight MMA fighter got the skill, bodybuilder got the strength.
Right.
Like I wouldn't. You don't fight a shark in the water. You're gonna fight him on land because you know
Exactly.
that's the edge. That's why, like, you know, jaguars, lions, they're like, no, bro, come on land. And then the shark's like, no, bro, come in the water. You know what I'm saying? It's just
So
the way it works.
That's gave you a bunch of adaptability then, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Mhm.
And that's why, like, I'm never biased for my fights. Like, I'll fight anyone because I know, like, even though I got the skill level, or a guy might have more skill level than me, you know, I want to fight for the challenge. I don't fight to just win. I don't plan to make a big career as Street Beast. I came to see how long or how far I could aspire. You know, like to see if,
and you're working on yourself too.
exactly, see what I still learned. Exactly what you said. If everything that I've learned is still relevant, which it slowly is, but like it's starting to phase out. I'm fighting tough guys every time. Like these fights are starting to go to distance now. I'm not just finishing guys off anymore, you know? Like guys with actual martial arts skill is starting to catch up to me. Like John Connor's one of them. John Connor, he was a purple belt. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm still a white belt in jiu-jitsu. And the fact that I was able to survive ground game was good, but at the end of the day, he beats me as a wrestler. He beats me as a grappler. But on feet, I beat him as a striker. It's just the way it works.
What moment
Like
was like
Showtime.
Showtime,
No,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my Showtime fight, like I had Showtime with athleticism because I was the younger fighter. I think Showtime's like in his 40s, but Showtime has the skill. You know, that's where the playing field's even out.
What
Yeah,
was
that's
like?
why. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. I was just gonna say just a quick little.
Go on, Chrizzo. You got it.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that's why when Floyd Mayweather fought Conor McGregor, I don't know why, but like half of my friends were saying like, "Oh yeah, Conor McGregor's finna, you know, beat him and this and that." I'm like, I don't know. Like Floyd Mayweather, like he may be old, but he got that skill, and he's been boxing way longer than Conor McGregor. Like Conor McGregor never boxed. You know, he was only doing MMA, right? And
Yep.
he only like prepped for like I don't know a couple months or like half a year or maybe. So my mind going into it was like, man, my money is on Floyd Mayweather, and then actually looking at the fight, I'm seeing like, okay, yeah, Conor McGregor's gassed out, like he's like huffing and puffing, and Floyd Mayweather is just like, come on, man, like you tired already? Like what's up? So I'm just like, okay, yeah, I kind of expected this.
Yeah, well, you got Floyd, who's boxed since he's 13. Like, people really don't, like, I looked at his documentary. People don't realize, like, his father, Roger Mayweather, he was a good boxer, but I think he had an accident, a freak accident, and he had to put up the gloves. And then he took all his knowledge and put it into his son Floyd. Like, you're talking about Floyd missed school just to box. Like
2.0.
Yep. Whole time he boxed at 13, and his father lived through him to get him to where he is today. While Conor's done MMA. You know, he's limited all his tools, and the farthest he's ever gone in the ring is 25 minutes, but that's just 5 rounds. Floyd does championship rounds in sparring and then surpasses. The guy goes like 20 rounds. He'll never get tired. Like people don't think about that when they look at it. They see Conor McGregor as his big name. And don't get me wrong, Conor can fight, but Floyd's been in the game a lot longer.
Right.
So what moment in life taught you like your biggest or like one of your biggest, life lessons?
That's a really hard one because I had a lot of life lessons in my life.
Yeah. Everyone does. Yeah.
I'd say recently was when I was in the desert in California. I was in the Mojave Desert for training, and I'm looking around like it was really hot out there, man. Like you're talking about the desert. You've seen animals that were born out there die from heat exhaustion, and then like it's bad. Like dude, like I'd see crows fly midair and just hit the ground from heat exhaustion, just die. Like dude,
Wow.
This place unforgiving. Like we were in this place called the Box, so the heat is like 15 degrees hotter. It'll like get like 120 degrees out there, and like every direction you look, it was a mountain. So you're like engulfed in a mountain. So all the heat rushes down the mountain right into you. That's why they call it the Box, because you're being cooked down there. I'm just sitting here like, listen, this is a crappy ordeal, and I took life so much better getting out. I was so thankful just to have, cold water. Like I was so hydrated out there. I chugged hot water. Like, dude, I'm resorted to chugging hot water because like you gotta live. You know what I'm saying? So
gotta live, man.
How long were you out? You said
I was out there for 2 weeks. We're out there for 2 weeks. And I'm sitting here like, listen, if I'm gonna have to go through this, I need to go out and start like taking things seriously. I need to start. If I want to do something, I don't care about the judgment people give me. It's my life. I'm gonna live it. Because like I'm not gonna be trying to live through other people anymore. Like I'm not trying to please anyone else, because at the end of the day, even though they have their opinions, it's still my life to live. I'm not gonna waste my life and waste my opportunities because someone else wants me to do things a certain way. So yeah, even though people get my pro license, I'm like, dude, every day I'm getting fatter. I'm only getting fatter and weaker. So I want to take the opportunity now, because once I hit 30, I'm not going pro at 30. That's ridiculous. I'm wasting my time. I only have 5 years left in my career if I go pro at 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless I'm like a ordeal champion like Pacquiao or Mayweather and able to fight in my 40s, I'm not doing it.
Right.
You know? And then having my daughter too, because I was like, once you share and you made life yourself in this world, you realize how much you're willing to sacrifice for it. Because you don't want that kid to grow up with the things that with being deprived of the things that they should have. When I was growing up, I was deprived of a lot of things that I wanted in my life. I had a lot of limitations. I always tell myself, like, once they grow up, I want to be that person, like they can live a good life, at least say like they had a good childhood. You know what I'm saying?
right. That's all that's the first thing they need. It's just to have a good childhood.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, Fairplay, do you have any final message? Or boys, do you guys have any final questions you want to ask Fairplay?
I just want to say, man, I really appreciate you coming along, what's out, and, I look forward to, keeping up with your journey, bro, because it's pretty inspirational, and, like I never knew about, street beefs, the whole, like, the furthest I knew was like Kimbo Slice and what he was doing. That was the most that I kind of, was aware of, and then when X told me about you, and then I looked into you, and it was like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting. So I definitely look forward to keeping up with your journey for sure.
I appreciate that. Thanks, man. That means a lot. And I'll keep you guys informed and up to date. I mean, I got another fight the 17th in Jersey, and I have another fight the 23rd in Maryland. So you guys, I appreciate your support, and like I said, things like this I don't forget. Like y'all go out your way to do whatever you aspire to be. Like all y'all have your own niches, y'all have your own skills, your own skill sets. Like it's not always about fighting. When you're motivated, you pursue what you want. Like that's what, get off the couch and do something. As long as you're productive, you'll never have regrets when you get older, because you got to do exactly what you want. You weren't in a prison in your own mind, because you're your biggest enemy. Don't let yourself.
And life's a fight as well. Life's a fight. Corey, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, it's nice to see an actual professional athlete taking everything seriously, humble, and has great respect for everyone involved in their in fighting. And like, it's just great to hear your words, man. It's great to hear your
Yeah.
words.
It's great to hear the respect that you have for the work that you have for your art craft. Like that, I look at this as an art, bro. It is an art. It's called martial arts. But yeah, man, you're very inspirational, man. And like, dude, I'm so honored that you were even willing to give up some of your time to be on our podcast. So fair play. If you got anything last things you would say, any last shout outs, you would shout out to the kids, shout out to the wife. I appreciate your time, man. And yeah, fair play.
Yeah, definitely. You guys, first of all, yeah, shout out What's Out Media. You guys do some good work. I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity and the invitation to be a part of your cast. And yeah, shout out my wife, of course. Shout out all my kids. I'm thankful because I wouldn't be here once for them. Shout out my friends that talk to me and get me through it and give me my support. Same support I give them. Also, 2 shout outs I want to give to 2 people that asked me to do it. Shout out Dot Universe. They're pretty good with they do music and all that. And shout out Dylan, capital DYL in parentheses. You guys are good support. I appreciate my fans. I appreciate the work you guys do as What's Out Media, and definitely for giving me the opportunity. I can't words can't explain it, you know. I'm fumbling, but all I can say is I'm thankful. I'm really thankful.
Yeah, thank you. And Dot Universe, we would love to we might want to collab. We might want to have an interview. We love musicians as well.
Yeah. I'll have to send them a link to this. See what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been What's Out Media, and we were with Fairplay. Thank you, Chrizzo, once again. And Fairplay, I got one last question for you. How did our guy Cory do today? Did our guy Cory do all right today?
The Wolverine.
Oh yeah, that's young man over
here. Oh, sorry.
No,
yeah,
you're fine.
Sorry, I'm always thinking Street Beef. My bad. I'm sorry. No, you guys did good. Like I said, the only way you get better is by keep doing it. Firing from the hips, good. And if this is your first shot, you do phenomenal. Don't stop and keep it. All I can say, don't stop and keep it up. You get better every time.
Well, 100. Peace. It's been What's Out.
Take care.